Well, thanks everyone for coming along. I'm going to share this story and really the roadmap and the framework of how we went and did $1 million in our first year on Amazon and what we've done since that. And some people might think, hey, this is not directly related to advertising boost. It's not directly related to marketing boost, but in some ways it is. And I'll show you how it plugs in. And also, we don't want to just teach you things that are related to advertising boost, marketing boost. We really want you to be a full-rounded entrepreneur and really like have a whole bunch of knowledge, and so you can make a whole bunch of choices. Because for some people, they may see this and go, that's for me. And then other people may see this and go, that's not for me, but they've got knowledge on it. And I'll show you how it plugs into all the other things that we're learning and that we're doing. And over time, we're also going to teach a lot on lifestyle design, and I'll talk a little bit about that, because one of the things that I did in the last, realistically in the last month or two, I turned off an income stream that was providing me $1 million a year. And a lot of people at the time said, that guy's crazy, he's stupid, why would you do that? Why would you ever turn off $1 million a year income stream? But I did it because I didn't want to be the richest man in the graveyard. You know what I mean? I want to have fun on the journey. I want to, I want to make a lot of money and I want to have a big impact in the world and that kind of stuff. But definitely, that whole enjoy the journey, which is why I work with these guys, just because it's fun and we're doing cool stuff and we're impacting the world. And I think this is a business that can be fun and really can give you a lifestyle business. So that's why I love this area as well. So let's get stuck into this journey. First of all, congratulations on your initiative for turning up. Well, really for being a member, plugging into this amazing environment. You're going to get so much benefits out of that. But then for also having the initiative to turn up and to watch this, because really 100% of people want success, but really only 3% of people are willing to do what it takes. So before we get into Amazon, I'll just think about with this, you got to figure out, what is it that you're building? Because sometimes you can build a business and it ends up being a bit of a Frankenstein, it actually doesn't end up being what you wanted. So for me, I spoke a lot about lifestyle design. So I figure out what's the lifestyle that I want, and then I build businesses to meet that. And I get that not everyone's at that stage. I've been at it for a while. And when we were first getting started, you can see Jules and I here, we got the kids. This was when we went to Disneyland a year or two ago. Which was a goal as a family, you know what I mean, with young kids. It's a pretty cool thing to do, and I'm sure a lot of you have done that. But we had to just really figure out where it is you wanted to go and what it is you're building. But when we had young kids, I remember there was times when we were broke and it was really just about survival mode. So I get survival mode. I'm going to teach you some stuff coming up in the weeks and months to come about that whole game of chess and how you can really create ultimate freedom in your life. Yeah, we're not talking about Amazon yet, but that's okay, because we really need to know we have these traits of the most successful business owners that we meet, because as much as 70, 80% of it can be about our mindset, can be about our emotions, that kind of stuff. So let's have a look at this. So first of all, we need a clear vision and goals, and we've already spoken about this. Where are we now and where do we want to go, and what does that look like? So we need a good business vehicle. Sometimes you can just change the business vehicle and get a different result. So can you imagine I spend 40 hours a week on my marketing and I'm marketing a local business versus I spend 40 hours a week on my marketing and I'm marketing a global Amazon business? The difference can be chalk and cheese. So sometimes you just change the vehicle and you get a completely different result. Number 3, we need continual learning. So you guys are already doing that. You've plugged into this environment. You've got business tools that are helping you grow. You're feeding your brain and so your mindset, your emotions, that sort of stuff. So you're already doing a great job, on this area. Number 4, ongoing focus on mindset. This is really the most important area. If you don't have this bit, everything else comes to naught because you bring yourself, to the deal. Number 5, manage their emotions. I talk about emotions a lot. The most successful business owners we meet have smooth emotions. They're not I think everyone's met people that are really, really very, very happy, and then it's a drama, and then happy, and then it's a drama. That's a recipe for disaster when it comes to business. You want to just be a cool cucumber, so to speak. Number 6, you need to be resilient. So when the reality is things are going to go wrong, but it's not about like what happened. It's about how we behave when that happens and what we learn from it and what we take from it. Like for me, I'm just your average guy really, but I'm more resilient. I just keep going. I just keep going and I just keep going. And some things I've built a lot slower than other people. Like you could argue that these other two guys, Marco and Andy, are maybe more talented than me in certain areas, but I'm just resilient. I'll just keep going and eventually I'll win. And I always do because of that. Number 7, we have to make decisions. So we see a lot of people who are umming and ahhing, should I do this, should I do that? The reality is if you put a new product out into the market, if you try a new business, that kind of thing, if it's a success or not, doesn't really matter. And in some ways it does. I get it from a cash flow point of view and that kind of thing. But what you are getting is just feedback back from the market. So we just need to make decisions because success follows speed. So it's just so crucial, which is really this next point. We need to move with speed. If we move at the speed of a snail, then we're going to get overtaken, that kind of thing. So success follows speed. We need to get help, but ultimately we need to get leverage. So we can't be a one-man band over time. If you think about every successful business, they're not really a one-man band. You just need some kind of leverage in your life over time. It's okay to start off as a one-man band, but over time you do need to get leverage. You do need to get people helping you. And there's 4 or 5 different types of leverage, and we posted about that in the group this week. And you need to be able to, you don't need to know your maths. You need to be able to track and measure so you can run your winners long and then you can cut your losers short if something isn't working. So this is really like a bit of a preamble. This sort of stuff is important if we're going to be successful in the next area that we're going to talk about, which is Amazon. So join them rather than trying to beat them, riding the wave of global Amazon domination. And really, like, Amazon is a giant. So we may as well embrace them. If we're selling physical products, we may as well be on there. What we found is that realistically it is a proper money machine. There's a couple proper money machines that I know of online. Google Shopping is another one that's a proper money machine where you put in $1 and it spits out more on day one. Facebook ads can be the same. Amazon ads, realistically, like, so for average dollar we put in on Amazon ads, it spits out $4 on day one, that kind of thing. So that's basically how that money machine works. So it's very, very exciting, if you get it right. And what I'm going to show you is, like, I'm not guessing. I'm not, wonder if this is going to work, that kind of thing. What I'm going to show you is actually a formula. It's a recipe that can be repeated. And one thing we'll do in this new members area as well, we'll put the slides in there as well so that you can look back at it and just go through and follow the recipe. You don't have to watch the whole video again if you don't want, although some people, you may get good value, from doing that. We spoke about that Amazon is growing all the time, and they're growing in all these other marketplaces. So they're continually expanding around the world, and they're continuing to gobble up more and more market share. So as they get bigger, there's more and more eyeballs who are turning up every day with credit card in hand. Well, they don't even need credit card in hand. Amazon's already saved their credit card and they're going there to buy. So as Amazon gets bigger and bigger, if you've got your stake in the ground, yours continues to get bigger as well. So it's just a rising tide that continues to lift your boat up out of the water, so to speak. All right, so let's look at who this is for. So two like main types of people. The first one is if you want to take the stuff that we're learning and you want to build a lifestyle business. And the second one is if you've got an existing product range and you're really looking at, maybe you might be on Amazon and you want to take it to the next level, or you're looking at, can we put it on Amazon? Because remember, we're just trying to give you an all-rounded education, not just in specific areas. Okay, so why master Amazon? We've already spoken a bit about that with the rising tide. But if you look at this, Amazon's share of the US e-commerce market is now 49%, or 5% of all retail spend. So that means in the US, 49 out of every 100 transactions realistically are happening on Amazon. So that is enormous. That's why we're teaching you this area. And then if you look at this, top 10 US companies based on percentage of e-commerce sales. So look at Amazon, 49%, and then eBay is second at 6.6%. It's still a giant, eBay. It's not to be underestimated. A lot of people don't focus on it anymore, but we certainly are as well. And then Apple 3.9 and Walmart, and then all the rest sort of fighting over the scraps. So it's a massive, massive market share. And this like from payments.com, I don't know if I believe this stat, but 19% of sellers doing $1 million plus. It is possible because one thing I've found, once you get it right on here, it really is like drinking from a fire hose. It is pretty incredible the amount of buyers that are there if you get onto something good. And it's really just about, all you need to do is find a couple of winners. Realistically, like if you find 3 or 4 winning products, you've got $1 million business. That's the reality. Yeah, that's the reality of it, of how it works out. I don't know if I believe they're 19%, but it's significantly high anyway compared to most other, if you call it, business opportunities. So I'm just going a sip of water here. What we do like about Amazon as well is this lifestyle component. So FBA means fulfillment by Amazon. What I love about that, say Marco buys my widget, whatever the widget is, maybe it's a case for an iPhone, whatever the widget is, it doesn't really matter, although I'll show you how we choose good widgets coming up and good markets coming up. But I personally don't have to be involved in shipping it out. Fulfillment by Amazon means when I get my stock, I send it into Amazon's warehouse. Amazon, they label it and put it on the shelves in a certain way that they want it to be on the shelves. And then when a sale comes in, they pick it and pack it and send it out for me. And it doesn't really matter, like if you're just getting started with e-commerce and you've only sending out a few things a day, but like we send out in the thousands and thousands per month. So like 10,000 packages a month or something. So it really, really does matter as you get bigger. Also, the way their ranking algorithm works, they know that if they send it out, that it's going to get out to the customer fast. So if I'm doing FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, and you're selling the same thing, but you're not doing it, you're shipping it out yourself, they're going to give me a higher ranking in the algorithm because they know that that customer journey is going to be better if it comes from them because they're controlling that process. Okay, so the other thing I really love about this, we spoke already about the local market like versus the global market. So traditional business was, and say for example, I was in the Philippines 2 years ago, there's a guy or a girl, they've set up a stand at the side of the road and whoever comes past that road, that's their market. Well, obviously this is a whole bunch different, I'll show you later what we did, but we started in Americas and then went to Europe and then Asia Pacific. And in the space of a year, we were able to roll out around the globe. And that opportunity exists for you. A lot of people think I've got to keep finding more and more products. Yeah, you do. But if you get on a winner, you can take that winner and run it around the globe, which is an easier way than trying to find more winners sometimes. But ideally, you want to do a combination of the two. Okay, let's look now at, some people say, hey, I don't want to be 100% on Amazon because they could pull the rug out from under me at any stage and shut my account down, which is true. Like that is a risk with whether it's you've got your stuff on Facebook, on Google, on Amazon, wherever you've built something, there is a chance that platform can pull it away from you. There's no doubt about it. But I think if you know the rules and you try to be a good citizen of their community, as a general rule, I don't think you'll have much issues. And as what you'll see from me as well is as you get bigger, as you become more of a player, you get account managers in all these different places, like in Amazon, in Facebook, in Google, that kind of stuff as you become a bigger player, and they help you to navigate some of these things as well. But so it is true, we don't want to build just on Amazon, but we do want to have, so we do really want to have a traditional, I call it traditional e-commerce. When you think about it, like e-commerce has only been around for 20 something years, but it's your own e-commerce store on your own domain. It's great to have a combination of the two. When we were building this, actually, there's a concept called energy units. So energy units is talking about if we start here and we need to, and it takes that much energy to smash it out of the park, if we try and do everything, none of them are making it the whole way over and smashing it out of the park, right? So sometimes we've got to cull a few things or just put them on hold for a while, and then when we're ready, then do them. So like what we did was we were looking and saying, hang on a second, for every 10 sales, 9 of them are coming on Amazon and 1 of them is coming on the e-commerce store. So what we did was we just parked our e-commerce store for a while. We doubled down on Amazon. We got it going quite well, as you'll see. And then now we're coming back and we're building the e-commerce store out and that kind of thing. So, but other people have started it the other way around. There's no right or wrong answers. For a lot of people, they start with e-com and then add on Amazon after that. Amazon's bigger for us, so we focused on it, and now we're coming back to e-com. So I want to show you this concept, and then after that, we'll show you what we're doing about it. So we've got this saying, and this is not just related to Amazon, this is related to all traffic, of winter is coming, which is obviously a Game of Thrones reference for the 9 out of 10 people on this call who know Game of Thrones and winter is coming, that saying. So what we're seeing here is like traffic prices are going up and up and up across the board. Okay, there's no denying that. That's basically what's happening. And goods and services prices continue to go down over time based off competition. So you can see where they meet over. That's the point where you can no longer buy traffic on day one and be profitable. Okay, so if we know that this is where the internet is heading, then we need to do things to future-proof ourselves. Those who are 100% dependent on, I'm going to buy all my traffic right on the day, not going to win in the long run. We have to think longer-term strategic than that. So let's show you how we can do that. So we call this the e-commerce four-legged stool. So this is how we're going to win long-term and how we are winning long-term with the e-commerce four-legged stool. And I'll also show you how we use Marketing Boost with this too. So the first thing is an authority blog. So in this case, like I'm actually not that great at building blogs. I can write individual content pieces and stuff, but I had never had great success at building an organic property on its own, just using organic content. So what we did in this instance was we outsourced that to a content agency and they helped us with it. And then we also have built some social media with it. And in particular, like we've got our Pinterest, we've got a big blog and we've got a Pinterest, and our big blog, the Pinterest now has 3 million viewers every month that turn up organically. That's for free. So this is helping with that. Remember, we're not buying all that traffic all the time. So authority blogs just crucial. Just lead with value, lead with value, lead with value. Be helpful. You can't go too far wrong. The second part of the stool was Amazon, because what we're talking about here is if the stool lost any one leg, you wouldn't kill the whole business. Whereas if all we had was the Amazon and you lost that leg, then you'd kill the whole thing, right? So then number 3 is the e-commerce store. So we use Shopify for this. And number 4 is audiences. And audiences, I would say, are more important than email these days, but that could be argued either way. But here we've got audiences, so talking about an email list, messenger, so building a messenger list, cookie list, so who's been to your site, that kind of thing, and then custom audiences, so it might be your database, also other different audiences of people who visited your website, who've engaged with your content, those kinds of things, and also social media. So this is like we try to build out. Can you see how this is more future-proof? And then you can see here I've added Marketing Boost logo. So we can use Marketing Boost on the blog to say, like we might be able to run a competition and we're giving away some products and we're giving away some incentives, whether it's restaurant vouchers, hotel vouchers, vacations, that kind of thing. Or with the e-commerce store, we found like from a believability point of view, spend this much and get a free vacation. People don't believe that as much. But if, and you don't necessarily have time to educate them, but they may believe for example, 5 customers this month are going to go in the draw. So everyone goes in the draw and 5 customers this month are going to win a vacation, say a Mexico vacation, that kind of thing. Then everyone, like a lot of people buy lottery tickets and that kind of stuff. It's kind of like they've got that excitement of the what if. And so that'll help you to get more customers. So that's how we're using that. But you can see we're not actually using Marketing Boost on Amazon at the moment. And because there's some gray areas around their terms of service and all that kind of stuff, I don't want to do anything that would risk our Amazon. So I'm just doing it on properties that I own, and then there's no dramas whatsoever. So that's kind of how this works. Changing gears a little bit, one of the things is like you see a lot of people sell Amazon business as business opportunities. I personally don't believe it's like I've got here, the lemonade stand example, I don't believe it's just a hobby business these days. I believe it's a proper business. It's a proper, you build a team, you get really, really focused on it and make it work. You can still do it as a hobby business and make some money. The problem is it's like anything, it's getting bigger and it's getting more complicated or more sophisticated. So don't just treat it like a hobby business, treat it like a real business. Because the weird thing about this is people won't spend, or if they've got to spend $50,000 on buying some stock, they're like, they don't want to do that. But they'll happily spend $50,000 on setting up a shop front at a local, like at the local mall, that kind of thing. So it's bizarre to me that people treat online businesses different to offline businesses, where in reality, online businesses have much better leverage. So yeah, I'm just saying, just don't treat it like a hobby business. Okay, this is the, you've got a social proof. What if that Greg Casa guy is full of BS? Hopefully, for a lot of you, you're starting to get to know me now. You know that I'm a straight up guy. I don't really do lies and BS because I think they're just too stressful, to be honest. If you say a lie or BS, then you've got to constantly cover it up with other lies and BS. I'm no good at that. And I'm a big believer in karma and that kind of thing. But here's the shot showing you that over that time period in our first year, $1.171 million, okay? That's obviously revenue. And then in the second year, we haven't gone right through the full second year yet, but it's been looking closer to 2.5 million in our second year. So you can see that this is, what's that, like 9-10 months. I should have figured that out in advance. And we're a bit over 2 mil. So it was a good first year, and then it's just getting bigger and better from that. And really just following the same recipe and the formula that we're looking through right now. So a lot of people come to us and say, hey, like, what do you think of this product, that kind of thing? And they're just thinking about a product. But I really think about a market first. Like, who is it that you really want to serve? Who is it you really want to add value to? And also don't think short term. So like a lot of people think about, I could sell this widget to that market. But I think about, like, who do I want, what market do I want to be in long term? If you think about every big company, they've been there for a while, actually. Like in most cases, they've been there 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 years, that kind of thing. That's if they're a big established company. They haven't jumped around from market to market. So figure out your markets first. So we use tools like Jungle Scout. We use tools like Helium 10. So this is great at investigating markets, and they're also great at investigating products, like figuring out, hey, how many people are actually searching for and buying this type of product? How many competitors are there? How would the maths be, the profitability, that kind of thing. And then you can use services like Alibaba.com. You can create an account there and you can contact suppliers, and then you can find out. So basically there's a concept called white labeling, where you find a product you like, you order it, you speak to that manufacturer, generally in China, you order a product sample comes over, you test it out. You may tell them something that needs a change on it, or you may be happy with it the way it is. They may send you one more sample. You ask them, can they white label it, meaning can they put your label on it, your packaging on it, that kind of thing. You could give them your barcode, that kind of stuff. And generally they'll all do that. And then, yeah, you import it into your country and into Amazon. So that's kind of like how that piece works. But you start with your market first and then figure out products. And one of the things with figuring out products is to figure out what's the life cycle of my market? What are the things that they think of, or what are the things that they go through? And then do my products fit onto that life cycle, and will it genuinely help them? And the other thing is, do they want it? So really, like, do they want it, and can the maths work? Can we make it profitable? So let's look at how we do that. This product decision matrix, I decided to share that here in the group. All I just ask is just don't publish this public on the web. It's not really like something that I publish public on the web, but I do want to, like, talking to you with Andy and Marco on this, do want to just play full on and show you everything, like how we do it. So I think we can just have a social agreement on that. I'll show you how we do our stuff. All right, cool. So first of all, we decide, is it small? So we don't want to be shipping out big things, because there's two parts to it, actually. One is, when we store them at Amazon's warehouse for the fulfillment by Amazon, they're going to charge us more for storage fees. And then when we go to ship them out, we're going to get higher shipping fees. Like we did one import. The product was amazing. There was really good demand for it. The maths were fine. But then the box was actually slightly too big. Amazon declared it to be what they called small oversize. And small oversize meant that they were going to charge us more per box and to store it and to ship it out. And that one thing of being declared small oversize meant that all this work we'd done kind of came to naught because we just couldn't be profitable anymore because the fees and that went up. So you really, really do want small things. The next thing, Australians call it maths. I think Americans call it math. But do the math work? So if we're going to be buying it for $10, can we sell it for $30? You know, that kind of thing. We really want to make sure that there's going to be money in it. So that's why we look at, can we make the math work? Worst case scenario, 2 for 1. So we bought it for 15 and we're selling it for 30. Ideally, we want 3 for 1 or better. We bought it for 10, we're selling it for 30, that kind of thing. So if the maths don't work, then we kill it. Okay, so that one of the most powerful words in business is the word next. Okay, so, and then we look at, okay, next thing, can we sell it for $24.99 and above, greater than, because by the time you've got the cost of your product, by the time you've got the cost of some advertising to get there, that kind of thing, if you're selling a product for much less than $24.99, well, we have some that are at $19.99, but we're really moving them more to $24.99. It's hard to be profitable, and there's no point doing all this work if we're not going to be profitable. So that's the next thing we look at, and if not, kill it. You're going to see a bit of a trend here with the kill it type approach. So the next thing is, are people searching for it? And you can look at things like the Google Keyword Planner. You can look at other tools that are specifically for Amazon, but I use Google Keyword Planner a lot to see, are people actually searching for it? If they're not searching for it, then ideally we want them searching for it, but if not, can we target them? So for example, equestrian horse riders who are female between the age of 24 and 45, that might be our exact target market. We might be able to put Facebook ads in front of them, target them, drive them over here, and that may work. But ideally we want them to be able to be searching, and we want to be able to target them. And if we don't have those things, then kill it. And if we do, we need to decide, are we willing to invest in the brand? Because to get it out there, we might have to do some video ads and that kind of thing. Do we want to, is this something that we feel passionate about? Is it something that we want to do long-term? Remember, long-term thinking, not short-term thinking. Are we willing to invest in the brand? And if we're not willing to invest in the brand, then we kill it. Then the next thing is we're saying, is it demonstratable? So can we show it via video? Can we show it via images, the benefits? And that really, really does make a difference. And if not, kill it. And if yes, the last thing comes down to, what's our gut feel? And your gut really is made based on a whole bunch of info you've got, just how you feel about it. So stick with your gut feel. If your gut feels no, then kill it. And if your gut feels yes, then go ahead. So you can see a lot of this we've learned through trial and error. And yeah, we've made mistakes along the way, but if something's not profitable or it's not a winner, we might just sell through our stock, get rid of it and move on. And the trick in marketing and in business is just remove emotion from that. Remember, just be that steady emotional thing and just move on. Yes, it sucks sometimes if you've got something and you put all this effort in and it's not profitable, but you just move on and you do it again. We also learn to avoid seasonal products. The major chunk of those sales numbers that I showed you are around seasonal products, in particular winter products at the moment that work really, really well for us. We do have some counter seasonal stuff, so some summer stuff, some winter stuff, but what we did learn through that process was, hang on, what about if we start thinking about things that sell all year round rather than seasonal? And that way we won't have those big peaks and troughs in the business, which has been a great way to go. And then the hack and shortcut we took was partnership. So just the same way, I've got 2 partnerships in my business stuff. So I work with James, Marco, and Andy on all the stuff that we do together on the vacations. And I work with Mike and Derek on all the stuff that we do on the e-com and Amazon. And originally I set up Rainmaker Partner website to, if I needed more partnerships that I could. But you know what? I've got 2 amazing partnerships, and with getting partners, I find it's not really about short-term gain. It's about long-term win-win. So like, can we add value to them? Can they add value to us? Are we going to be happy to work together long-term? And can we get to that situation of 1 + 1 = 3? So I'm what's called a growth hacker, meaning that generally if you inject me into a business, it's going to go up and to the right, even if it might happen straight away or it might take a couple of months, that kind of thing, but it's going to go up and to the right over time. It's just a formula. So, and then in this case, they're bringing a hero business, that kind of stuff. So partnerships been great. Like I would talk about that whole import process. I wasn't amazing at that. So what I found is just stick to the bits you're good at and then partner with other amazing people on the bits that maybe they're better at it than you. So you get that whole 1 + 1 = 3. And that was really the big shortcut we took. And I don't think enough people take this. So if you're an amazing marketer, find people who've got amazing product. If you're an amazing product, find someone who's an amazing marketer. That's a great way of putting together a team. All right, so let's now look at, we've spoken about market, we've spoken about product. This is not my product, by the way. I'm just showing you best practice. So the reason why I didn't show our exact products on this is because people copy me all the time. Say, oh, Greg's doing that. We'll just do that exact same product, which is not really the right approach. What I'm trying to give you is education, a set of tools and framework that you can then take. And what if I'm not trying to say, hey, copy my exact product? It's probably not smart to try and compete with me on exact same products anyway, but people do it. So let's talk about individual products. So I love this product and it's really a great listing. So you can see here with the headline, they're mentioning their main benefit statements in there, and their main search terms. So they've got their brand mentioned in there, Organifi. They're talking about their main search terms, organic, superfood powder, superfood supplements. See, they're building that in. They've they've got a lot of reviews here over time. So like 1,600 reviews. They've worked hard on that piece. Down there, so they've got great images, and we'll look at images more in a moment. Also on that product, see the benefit statements down the bottom. You can build out 5 benefit-written bullets, and at the beginning of the bullets, you can have caps lock. So capitals basically works like bolding, so you can just quickly skim read those. They've got over on the right-hand side here, they've got like a higher price discounted, so which is great. You can get a coupon. That really helps, so that people can click on that and they feel like they're getting a great deal. They've got different sizes. They've got subscriptions. These guys are just very smart. They're great marketers, and I know the team, very clever people. So then on the images, you can see rather than just putting up an image of the container, they're using what I call visual benefit images, and we do this across all our listings as well now. So that image actually tells a story of visual benefits. That image actually tells a story of benefits for the consumer. It's a benefits for them. Okay, so with any product that you put on Amazon, you've got to really own the brand. And yeah, you can sell other people's brand, but it's kind of like going into a fight with one arm behind your back if you don't have what's called brand registry. So you go to this Amazon brand registry, you upload your trademark document, and then they say, yes, we can see that brand, you own it, all good. And then you'll get your brand registered in brand registry. It gives you a whole bunch of things. One of them is a bit of brand protection. Your listings aren't just going to get shut down without them talking to you and that kind of stuff. But the other thing is it gives you things you can do on your, like you can build an Amazon store. I'll show you that in a minute. It allows you to build out visual sales copy. So can you imagine a text description? If I don't have brand registry and I've just got a text description, and you guys have brand registry and you've built out beautiful visual images and that kind of thing, you're going to win. So it gives you advantages that if you don't have it, really you can't win. You can't really win without brand registry. So you need to own the brand, I believe. So let's look at, it allows you to do this. Again, not our products, but so instead of a text-based description, you can build out these big, beautiful visual images descriptions so that you can see it's much better. You're going to get the picture a whole bunch more if you've got those visual images as well as some wording rather than just wording. So this is called enhanced brand content. Amazon also calls it A+ content, depending on which time you look at them. So, but yeah, amazing. So this gives you a boost every time. So you want to build, once you've got brand registry, you want to build out this enhanced brand content for every single one of your products. You also want to be able to add in a video. So if you don't have brand registry, they don't let you upload the video. So you really, really want to add in a video. Some products that we added in a video for every product. Some products have got considerable bumps from adding the video in. Maybe it's 50%, 25%, that kind of thing. So you really, really want to be able to tell the story, because people can't come along and just look at it, feel it, that kind of thing. They need to be able to see the video so that you've got they can experience it. In some ways, you want to future pace them, let them see and feel the thing without actually seeing and feeling the thing. That's really what this is about. They also will allow you to build out your own storefront. Again, not my brand, just a great example. So to build out a storefront on Amazon, this also gives you a bump. All of these things just give you another bump in sales, another bump in sales. So by doing this, it might only be an extra couple of grand a month, but it all kind of starts to add up. And this is the main thing. If people search for your brand, they'll find this as well. To build this out, like you can see, it's like a little website within Amazon's big website, but you don't need a web developer involved. You just like literally point and click, okay, you need a header banner here. They need it to be this size. You upload an image. You can use just something like canva.com. We're going to give you a whole bunch of resources on Canva coming up as well. It's just a great way you can design graphics. So you can just use canva.com to create free graphics that you can plug in here. You can build out your own website on Amazon. Just really, really cool. So Amazon storefront, really recommend you do that. But now we've talked about like how to be successful. What do you need to do as a business owner to get your head right, that kind of stuff, and your emotions right, and to be a successful business owner. Then we've looked at, okay, what do we need to do from how do we choose, like how do we think about our market and whether it's long-term, and how do we make sure that we're getting into a good product? And then once we've chosen our products, and how do we get them in? And what's the shortcut we can take to get there? And like I've spoken about, I'm a big fan of partnerships and long-term win-wins, but you can definitely do the importing yourself and all that kind of stuff. And then we looked at individual products and how do we make them really, really powerful so that they convert high, and we can use brand registry to add in all those other benefits so that we can make an amazing look and feel. So once we've done all those things, we now need to okay, well, how do we get more exposure? And the best way to do that is with Amazon ads. Amazon ads architecture isn't really, or ecosystem isn't really as sophisticated as maybe Google's or Facebook's yet, but it's getting better all the time. And Amazon's just invited me to a private, advanced 2 days of Amazon ads. Just Amazon's hosting it themselves, and just big sellers. So if anything cool comes out of that, as I continue to learn and evolve, and also Marco and Andy, as we continue to learn and evolve with new stuff, we'll just keep sharing it with you guys in the months to come. All right, so with any kind of advertising, I really think about there's this the prison system, and as you can see, this is quite a nice looking fellow here. I think he'd be a great guy to have sharing your bunk with you. So what I'm talking about is the prison system. You don't want to go in weak on day one and get beaten up, because you're really going to have a struggle the rest of the time that you're in prison. So the same thing with any advertising. Go in hard, bid higher than you'd actually like, and once you get good click-throughs and then you get good sales momentum from it, you can actually then tune your bids down. So the prison system's just talking about just go in really, really strong to start with, and then tune down over time. With anything in advertising, and particularly here, you can either set up an auto model or a manual model. And I actually do a bit of both. You can set up automatic ads, which basically says, okay, I want to sell this product on Amazon using Amazon ads. And then it says, okay, what's the SKU of the product? So like, what's the unique identifier of the product? And then how much do you want to spend a day, that kind of thing, and boom, off it goes. Or you can really like manually say, I want to these search terms. What we often do is we'll do both, but we use the learnings from the auto one to build out the manual one better. Okay, so then we need to think about this thing called ACOS, which means advertising cost of sale. And I've put in here some geeky terms, but you've really got to figure this out for your brand. But if you look down the bottom, explain simply, a 25% ACOS means for every $25 you spend, you're making $100 in sales. So we often aim for a 25% ACOS, so meaning, okay, for every $25 we've spent on ads, we want to get $100 in sales. And recently, as we've been adding in more products, that's risen, and we're kind of sitting more around 35%, which is, we're still profitable at that, but it's not amazing. But talking to an Amazon advertising rep just the other day, what he's saying to me is, don't worry about necessarily just being profitable on one-off sales, because Amazon's algorithm, how you rank on Amazon, really is about sales velocity. So if I use advertising to generate more sales and to generate more reviews, then my organic getting found naturally is going to increase as well. So while ACOS is important, so that, aiming for 25 or 30%, for every $25 we spend on ads, we get $100 in sales. It may be okay to push it out beyond where you're comfortable if it's generating a whole bunch of other sales as well. So just think about that. But it allows you to then tune it down on a campaign level. So we can say, okay, on all the different ad campaigns we've got, what's the ACOS of them? And let's cull or tune any that aren't going so well, that kind of thing. And then you can also do it on a product by product level. How are they going as far as ACOS? Because sometimes you might have a campaign that isn't quite working well, but you can just see this one product in there is not going great, but the rest are. So you just kill that one product. So in this case here, 39%, if we look over on the right, 26%, 22%, 58%. If I just got rid of the bottom one and then I changed the bid on the top one, all of a sudden, boom, we're back to where we need to be, that kind of thing. So that's how that can work. And then you can also do this like at a keyword or a search term level. So saying, if this one here, like you can see where I'm adjusting the bid down to 37 cents, it had an ACOS of 124%, meaning we weren't profitable. In that case, on that search term, we spent $161 and only brought in $129 in sales. So it wasn't amazing. So let's tune it down. So you can really mold and shape it like a piece of clay. I call this, and we do this with Google, we do it with Facebook as well. It's kind of like that coal diamond campaign optimization. You start off with a piece of coal, which isn't really that great. You chip away at it, and over time you end up with a diamond, which is just like a small campaign that's just very, very profitable. So that's what we try and do here. And you can do sponsored product ads. This is really the main big boy. This is the one at the top you can see here with the orange around it. That basically this is the most profitable type of advertising. It's also the one that gives you the most sales. So there's this type of ad, and you can see some examples there, what they look like. You just basically tell it what your product is, and it pulls in your headline, it pulls in your product image, it pulls in your reviews, that kind of thing. So it's quite easy to do. You can also do sponsored brands, which is kind of like this banner ad up the top, and you can give it either a logo or a featured image. You write that headline for it. So like in that example, find your next pair of headphones with bows, and then you can put in 1, 2, or 3 featured products. And actually with this, there's a bit of a trick to it. Because humans, English speakers, our eyeballs start up to the top and the left and then go down. You really want to put your best-selling product on the left here, then the next bestseller, then the next bestseller over there. And sometimes we had an example. Derek said to me, "Oh, what happened with the grey ones of these? Why are they going so well?" And I was like, "Oh, I moved them." So I stopped the ad, it wasn't working, and I moved the grey one over there, the bestseller, and then had other ones. And then we got more and more sales of the things that were going great. So the placement of it does matter as well. And then there's a third type, which is these product display ads here. So you can see this is like where you can advertise on a competitor's product below their add to cart. Can you see you can put your product there below their add to cart? So that's just so ninja level type stuff. Basically you're sniping their traffic, and they're going to do it. They're going to do it to you as well. There is other types of ads, but I'm just showing you really like the 80-20 of what, like really what's working right now. So the thing is, like anything, what I've found is initially it's hard, and once you get going, it's like it becomes a rigged game. So once you get bigger, you get other advertising options that aren't available to smaller sellers. So Amazon has a thing called DSP, demand side platform. This allows you to then turn on these kinds of banner ads and remarketing. So now it's like your own website. If they hit my product and they didn't buy, now show them my banners as they navigate around the web and as they navigate around Amazon. So that's kind of the level that I've got to now with this, but that option wasn't available to me initially. Amazon reaches out to you as you become a big player. They can tell whether you're a player or not, sort of thing. So they'll reach out to you as you get good at this stuff. But it does kind of suck that you only get these advantages as you get really good. It would be nice to have a level playing field. It just doesn't work that way. I don't know why. Also add in video view ads. You've seen us talk about these before. This is where you're paying like 1, 2, or 3 cents to put your video in front of someone out on Facebook. We do this for every key product, which drives awareness. So we're doing our social on automation sort of thing. So that works great. It ties in with this, which is when you're launching a product, actually getting a product off the ground is kind of a little bit difficult. Once you've got momentum, it's great. So what we do is we're running ads to products, but we use discounts. So you saw before there was that green coupon button. We use that. Is a great way of doing it. So you can say it's normally this price, but right now you can get a discount coupon. They click on it and 60% off. So that seems, wow, how am I going to be profitable at 60% off? You're not, right? But what you are doing is you're getting sales momentum and you're getting reviews, okay? And then you drop it down to 50% off. And then you might run that through for a couple $1,000s worth of sales, and then you drop it down to 40% off. And what you've done is you've catapulted yourself. You've got momentum, and over time you're getting better and better profitability, and you just keep dropping down your coupon codes, 30% off, 20% off, 10% off, and then you can get to the point where you don't need them anymore. Okay, so works great. This is the fastest way that you can launch a product. There's a whole bunch of services out there for product launching off Amazon, but a lot of them are grey hat, meaning you could get in trouble off Amazon over time. You might be fine to keep doing them long term, but you run the risk of, hey, you could be in trouble. So this, what I'm showing you here, using coupons is a way to absolutely get your products off the ground. We also use this tool called Feedback Genius, which is a legit way with Amazon to ask for reviews. Obviously, the more reviews you've got, the better. So that's a tool we use to do that. And then that's really like how you would catapult a product, and then you can repeat this all around the world. So we started with the .com, and then we quickly got Canada going, which was very, very easy. It's all already set up pretty much. You just say, yep, copy my products over to there, set up my ads, and send your stock in, and boom, off you go. Mexico, when we first started with that, it didn't have an ads engine. Now it does. We've got to come back and revisit it. There was a bit of a problem there with Spanish. So with these other languages, what we found is over time, you need to optimize and get native speakers to help you to do that. We added on the UK, which is massive. We added on Germany. At the moment, we're coming back and optimizing Germany with a German speaker. We added on France, Italy. These ones we haven't optimized so well with with native speakers yet, and also Spain. Japan, we're just working with with Japanese speakers there now, and really like your big markets here: US, Canada, UK, Germany, Japan. Australia is only a relatively new one as well. We're just really working on that now. What we found is you do most of your optimization on the .com, and then it's just really like you can use low price resources to clone it to all these other places. So, and then coming up, like in the years to come, there's China, there's India, there's Brazil, and we just got United Emirates isn't even live yet, but Amazon just reached out to us to say, hey, do we want to put our brands on that? And it's about to go live. So that's it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So you compare this to that local market, they're worlds apart. We also use visual dashboards for optimization. So you'll see this from me, like this, here's product A. Have we optimized all those things on the .com, on Canada, on Mexico? So green means it's done. Yellow means it's a work in progress. Red means it hasn't started. or there's an issue with it. And so you can see how your brain can take that in really, really fast. But with this product A, the US and Canada is really, really done. Mexico, we've got a few things. UK, we still got a few things. Germany, we still got a few things, that kind of stuff. So that's how your brain can take that in. And then I'll show you this other, we also use visual dashboards. Andy, Marco, and I, we also work this way with the stuff that we're doing together. So this is using a tool called Monday.com. It doesn't have to be Monday, but there's other ones like Teamwork, etc. What we really like about this is you can incorporate your project management and your visual dashboards here with like whether they're working on it, whether it's done or it's not started. We use things like priorities. So is it a 5-star, a 4-star, 3-star? So you can see how you can easily sort and agree and just drag up and down, and then what % complete is things. And then rather than, one thing I see is people communicate a lot via email. Email is not a very, very efficient way of communicating. So chatting within a job is much, much smarter than sending emails and having an email trail about everything, because then your brain's got to kind of put it all together. So these sorts of tools are crucial. You can grow a one-man business from using, without using tools like this. But if you, like we're building a global thing, like the stuff that Marco, Andy and James are working on. We're building global businesses together. It needs project management. It needs systems and tools to be able to make that stuff happen. So this is how we do that. And ultimately, like if you keep putting all this stuff together, it's just building a snowball that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Like I couldn't slow this thing down now if I wanted to, barely. Like it's just going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it doesn't require a lot of my time. A lot of it, things I've just got to build them once, and then someone in my team will clone that out into different locations. So that's how that works. And over time, you also want to add in more and more products. So these are sort of rubbish products, but they're people that are selling them on Amazon. So this is a cat scratching turntable. So not something I'd get into. A global motion activated toilet nightlight. So I think everyone really needs one of those. Probably not. But that's another product that people are selling. And here's a dude shower, which is effectively, it's just wipes. So you can see what people are selling out there. So you're not limited. Yeah, add in more products over time and just repeat. What I've shown you is really a recipe. It's a formula for success. And all this is really just about throwing more and more fuel on the fire once you get those fundamentals in place. The only sort of kind of thing that isn't great about e-commerce and Amazon versus what I would call SaaS, software as a service, is that every time you got to buy more stock, so you do need capital. It is a proper business, but it also allows you to build a proper lifestyle business. It's the sort of thing you can leave for a week or two and it's fine, that kind of thing. So it is building a real business, but it does require capital, but it literally is like throwing fuel on the fire. It really doesn't require a lot of my time now that it's getting momentum. Like I say, I optimize it once, and then people from my team go and run it and they duplicate that around the world for me. So it's very, very smart business model. And really what we're talking about here is global thing versus the local thing. And one of the things you get out of Mastermind, and one of the things we want you to get out of this group, is just think bigger thoughts, dream bigger dreams. And I love this quote, that in every family, there's been someone who stood up and took action to change their family and legacy forever, and will that be you? And maybe this is a vehicle you can do that with. Alrighty, that's about all that I've got there. I hope you got great value from that.